Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. I greet you in the words, as I always do, of Bibi Fahodier. And that is three for African liberation. Um, I'm back to do another video. And in this one, I titled this one Confusion on the Battlefield, or Confusion on the Battlefield. And confusion on the battlefield, I'm going to jump right into it. I've been seeing, and I'm I'm not a fan of neither one of these guys, but I've just been seeing this a lot lately. Um, like there's this ongoing thing brewing between Dr. Umar Johnson, if he's a doctor, and Kevin Samuels. And the reason I call this confusion on the battlefield, um, because definitely like for Umar Johnson's side to quote unquote supposedly understand Pan Africanism and Black nationalism, the confusion comes even responding to him. And the confusion also trickles down to I'm seeing a lot of African brothers and sisters. I'm seeing African brothers and sisters who's supposed to be like African clear and understanding and Pan-African and whatnot. And I'm seeing everybody running to Samuel's side. Everybody's running. And I get it to a degree. We want Black women to be held accountable. But the thing that gets me, and I hope this makes sense, to my knowledge, Kevin Samuels is not race first. I've never heard him speak on anything race first. It's all inclusive. Now, however, instead of us talking in general about all females, now I understand he's a Black man, so he speaks in proximity of what he's around. But we have this notion of just always antagonizing. And I'm not saying that these things, he has some truth to the things he said. Pretty much like I said with Donald Trump. Donald Trump would say some things you say, that makes sense. I see it. I'm actually more comfortable with Donald Trump in office because, it goes back to that wolf and that fox analogy that none of Malcolm X gave us. So I'm able to understand, but where the confusion comes in is because we're supposed to be clear as Africans or understand the mental side that has been induced on us and just poured on us by this system. So dig what I'm saying. We're supposed to understand the level of mental side that Dr. Bobby E. Wright told us about, the mental killing of our people. And it's like I always say, we are a reflection of each other, Black people, brothers and sisters, Black men, Black women, kings and queens, whatever you want to call yourselves. We are a reflection of ourselves. And I was just listening to something which prompted me to do this. And we have Black men, once again, and we have Black women telling each other their worth. And none of the worth is ever in a higher level. It's always a devalue. Women feel like they do this. Women feel like they worth this. I mean, it's quite goofy. Just to keep it real. It's quite goofy because it's like a pity party and it's like a homo cheerleading party for Black men. That we just sit and we just cheer the problem all the time. So my question is, what is the solution? We hear about this, how out of pocket. Now, if we are a reflection of each other, and if Black men are out of pocket, that means Black women are out of pocket. If Black women are out of pocket and so this and so that, what does that say about the state of us as Black men? Everybody's so reactionary. Everybody's so don't trust. I never hear. And honestly, I don't listen that enough of Kevin Samuels' stuff to make an accurate assessment. So, I mean, that's just how I don't want to entertain the foolery. First of all, he has a Greek affiliation. I saw him with a Greek Letterman's jacket. So that's diametrically opposed as to why Umar shouldn't even get into it. He's a Greek. When a person is part of the Kappas, when a person is part of whoever, they think like Greeks. And I'm talking to my conscious people that supposedly understand this. So we got somebody that thinks like a Greek and has a pledge to Greek. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? But here he is thinking like a Greek, which is to think like a European, giving black women the definition of themselves. And some of the females that call in there, they're unrealistic. So I can get some of the things. But there's this cycle that we do. And I saw one of the realest posts yesterday. It said something to the nature. And this was a sister. This was a black woman that said this. And I loved it. It said something to the nature, and I'm paraphrasing a bit. It said, we ignore men that would make us wives for dudes that made us single mothers. Think about that. We ignore dudes that would make us wives for dudes that made us single mothers. So understanding back to this mental side, because what gets on my nerve is we read all of these books and we claim that we know what our ancestors said. But yeah, we run out here with this crazy diagnosis. Yeah, black women is this, black women, black men is this, black, right. That's how we are. Right. Black men, right. Black women, right. Like two chihuahuas or a bulldog and a chihuahua. If we understand what has been done to us mentally, why aren't we focusing there to how to get us out of that? If we so smart, that's all I'm saying. I'm only talking to my conscious people. We know the same things that inflicted us. We love to listen to people like Shazard Ali, who is dangerous to the community. But black men love this because it absolves them of any accountability. It just says the black woman is the downfall. That Bible done already told you the woman is the downfall of anything. And we're reading these misogynistic things. We're listening to these misogynistic people. And I'm no fan of Derrick Jacks because I knew he was a phony from the start. But in sight, Wood Brothers love it if there was a sister that just did the same thing that Kevin Samuels do in reverse all day. And she talked about some of y'all Negroes who still 40-something years old that's trying to rap. Some of y'all right now that's waiting on your woman to get off work so you can get a cigarette. Y'all are out of pocket because y'all move into females' homes. Y'all move into these ladies' homes with no ambition, no drive. So what if that became the ultimate, the overwhelming narrative? Because I know I'm not like that. I have my own. But what if that just became the overall narrative? Somebody like, let's just say like Vicky Dillard, and she just did this all day. How would she be looked? And she's telling the truth about the state of black males. How would we view her, black men? Man-hating, bashing. So when females feel the same thing, I get it. Because I'm a single man, I'm not really attempting to date, but I see females. But I've been a single man that have dated or attempted to date before. And a lot of times, sisters, y'all just not checking for good guys. So I understand the truth in those drops of Samuels. Because I feel the burn of it all the time. But that don't mean I'm going to just cry all day like some bitch. There are some things to it. Some of them just unrealistic. You bring nothing to the table, but want a man to prepare everything on it. So these are true. But what I don't like is there's never any going forward process. From clips I've heard, he cuts the females off. Not every female in there, I would assume, calls with that negative narrative. I don't know. I'm just a real black man, and I just hate hearing the negative side all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. But when I try to shine light on somebody like Louis Farrakhan, who's kissing white men in the mouth, which is really affecting our liberation, nobody wants to hear that. That's negative. How about we put programs together for black women to get it together? I don't think we understand how devastating certain things this government did to us was and continues to be. Let's just use the crack epidemic. Let's just use the crack epidemic that, and I hope I'm making sense and you see where I'm going. Let's just use the crack epidemic that came right after the Black Power era, correct? In my opinion, they said we never can let this get back to this state again. This is enough of this. And to immediately follow up with the most devastating thing ever. One of the most, I ain't gonna say most, because the word most is crackers and dirty Europeans and Jews. But one of the most hard things to ever hit us was crack. So what did crack cocaine do? It took the black man out of the home. It took the black woman away from her children, the ones that got strung out on it. It just destroyed the family structure. Is that fair to say? So we're still we're still recovering from a lot of things. Even though it's not at the height of how it was, it still took toll on us. Our generation are the products of those. So a lot of these parents are they're victim of a brokenness. Nobody's culture was interrupted and broken the way ours was. Continuously. You can make the case of a plight for other people, but it isn't constant. J. Edgar Hoover wasn't appointed to stop an all Messiah. It was created to stop a black Messiah. Because they don't want us to ever stand up. Black men, ma'am, you ain't worth this. Nigga, you ain't worth this. And the cracker and the Jew and the Arab is right in the middle, loving it. I'm indigenous. I'm Hebrew. And we're just sinking lower and lower and lower. We don't understand because we're talking about high value when we don't even value ourselves. Females would do anything. Dudes would do anything. We don't value ourselves. And talking about a high value, another reason I don't like it because it's always kind of like classism. One above the other. Now I understand levels, but we get so caught up in this classism. when we all niggas in this system. High paid nigga, low po nigga. You get what I'm saying? Confusion on the battlefield where he doesn't even speak to an enemy. He doesn't even speak to a plight. Now, I've never heard him talk about white people. I've never heard him talk about white women, Asian women. I've never heard him. So if anybody see this video, plug me in because I don't have time to watch a girly man. Put me on. But for the most, it's always keeping us at each other's throats. Always. Another extension of the Willie Lynch. We debate whether the validity, but look at the methodology. Look at the methodology and tell me we're not in this today. Look at the methodology and tell me we're not in there. Make sure I ain't got nothing. Get comfortable with the camera. Make sure, I'm just tired. I wish we could see the value in each other. I wish sisters could see value in certain brothers. I wish brothers could see value in certain sisters. And we get together and we create happy children. And we teach happy children. And we teach strong children that don't have to grow up like squawking dogs. What comes from it? Confusion. A black power pimp versus just a lost nigga. And we entertain it. We got black men telling women how to be women. We got black women telling black men how to be men. Neither has insight to be other. You got insight on how to be with one, your experience, but I don't know how to be a woman. I don't want to know how to be a woman. I only know how to be a man. We got to stop this silly shit. Sometimes liberation looks bleak when we do this. Because we saying to God, he's riding for us. Who is us? Where any of his proceeds talking about liberating and building for us, since he's riding for us? And we know we're shit not to look for a school from UMar. He ain't trying to build. He pimping. He don't have all the most respect for black women either. So it's confusion. But that's a dude in Pan-African. I can't call him a brother until he get his head right. But that's a person that fight with Pan-African with me. So confusion on the battlefield. We gotta cut it out. I'm always gonna speak about the youth because that's who it's up to. And we're showing a piss poor job. Nothing is being built. Here we got to do, at least if you're going to talk to a Greek, get some finances from him to build something. Nope. But that's my thing. But we got to get it together, y'all. We got to get it together. So I hope people watch this video, share it, feel free. I'm trying to get into learning more how to be open with my videos and share them. So if somebody like the message that I'm saying, feel free to share it. Who knows, it may help somebody. Besides, that's how these guys got their start, just sitting down talking, right? But all of this, I'm with my yacht. This is man, this is feminine, and this is masculine. Hold up. I got it right. That's CP effect sometimes. No, I think that's just understanding which way your hand go. But yeah, I just want us to understand how magical we are as a people. And not magical in a fairy tale Disney way, magical in a powerful way, magical in a liberating way, magical in a loving way. That's why they work so triple overtime to keep us from ever understanding. They don't want us to understand how to love each other because they want us to see nothing of value within each other. Nothing but material things, nothing but physical, nothing but fucking, money. All the things that when it comes down to it, don't amount to a hill of beans. We need economics, and I'm on it. And we need sex to keep procreating. But we got to bring children up in positive, right energy. We got too many baby mamas and not enough wives. And we got too many baby daddies and not enough husbands. We ain't even get how many weddings do we really go to? Black weddings. We ain't talking about mixed. We ain't talking about crackers. We ain't talking about them old nasty Jews. Real weddings. Us. Happy. Not just for that moment, but continually. How many of us grew up really seeing happy, loving two parents? This is the effects of all of this. It's not how women just woke up and went insane, because that's what the European want us to feel like, that we just went crazy. This is what dumbasses like Jesse Lee Peters and Candace Owens and all of these people that are just lower level talking heads just push that. Jesse Lee Peters says the worst Uncle Ruckus shit ever, that we have no morals. What type of stuff is that to say about our people, that we have no morals? But I really want us to understand confusion on the battlefield. They tell us the worst thing about us and we lap it up. Kevin Samuels gets up here, he makes all these judgments, and we lap it up. Gotta wake up. Who do you know? Who do you know you to be? I'm gonna keep loving and trying to love black women until I'm not here no more. I've had some bad experiences, but guess what? I've had some wonderful experiences with them too. Balance. I've had some terrible experiences recently, but I'm not gonna turn. I'm not gonna turn to a tampon toting, purse wearing dude that complains. Black women, accountability. Yes, but we all need to stand for accountability. But to me, this is just my debate, that until you wake up into your consciousness, your real consciousness, your higher self, you don't understand accountability, because really this stuff is not your fault. White supremacy was forced on us, like religion. So with that, it came their way of thinking, their worldview, not ours. We're not getting an African worldview when we're talking, when Kevin Samuels talking. We're not even getting an African worldview when Umar's talking. We're getting this abstract fantasy, Big Papa land mindset. Ain't no truth gonna come. He says some truthful things because he just read. He just understands. But the love in your heart, it ain't there. We still begging and talking about a school when ain't nothing to teach your children. I loved teaching the children that I had. I love that summer school, and I'm reopening it, and I'm gonna be more open, and I would like to get to know our people. I only teach our people. I personally would love mothers and fathers who understand and who want their children to learn. Because the most toughest challenge is to deal with a child whose parents don't want them to be African or don't want them to wake up to their higher selves. We're still training our children to get jobs and be workers for everybody else. But we're wondering why the girls and boys are growing up out of pocket. We're training them to go for guys. Females are training their daughters to auction themselves off to the highest bidders. But we're wondering why they're out of pocket and talking about a higher standard, or a guy that makes six figures or whatever the hell. We're trained as males not to look for substance. We train to look for ass. We train to look for all the stuff that don't amount to a hill beans. But wonder why we're like this instead of this is the root groove. Supposed to fit in there and just do that little dance. I don't know how that looked, but but no, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Gotta get some love in our heart. We treat each other terrible. We backstab each other. All of this is cracker. It's not us. Once you really find out and internalize, I understand. I understand all that overstand shit. But in my opinion, when you overstand something, because it's like the price of right. You know, when that cracker show would come out and they would spin, and sometimes you would go over or under, but they would always want to get right in the middle, right? Or when you're playing any kind of number game, they'll say over or under. So I personally, and I hope that made sense, but I personally don't like the understanding because it means sometimes it could be sub, it could be below, could be. I understand when somebody say understanding. So, but I like to say understanding because to me, that means I internalize it. I take it within. We got to understand that's why things, as one of my brothers, 360 would say, it's called information. It's called intuition because it's inner. It's not called underition. Intuition. It's not called undermation or overmation. It's information because you take it in. And we got to take it in. It's not always about looks. I understand being attractive. I understand that, but it's not always about looks. And that doesn't mean when somebody say that you're going to get somebody that just busted. Because once again, it's either over or under with us. When we're talking about something, it's just like, and I said this at one of our events here, like maybe about 2 weeks ago. We internalize when we say a person is kind and, he's good-hearted. We'll say, well, how ugly is it? What's wrong with him? Let me show you our way of thinking. What's wrong with them? Because we instantly think that good character and treating people right and kind, chivalrous, means something is wrong with them. This is how the cracker done trained our mind. I untrained your mind too. This is how the cracker done trained us to think. And then what gets me caught up in, especially the mental side, is when people will say, oh, the devil was the most prettiest thing. And they get caught up in these freaking stories and tell you these things. Say the devil was the most beautiful angel. And anytime you chase that tight, where did it always lead up to? Females have thrown away good guys. That was the thing to the sister Sweet Mom. She was talking about in her video last night, and she came to a realization. She said there was a guy that he wasn't the most attractive that she was with. And she said she didn't value him, basically, and she didn't keep him. She pushed him off for somebody that looked like how she wanted him to look, wanted to look. I hope I said that right. But she pushed him away for a quote-unquote good-looking, whatever type of dude. And that dude turned out to be a bag of fart. And the good guy ended up going on with his life. So a lot of times we put, like I said in that video last night, we want these people for other people's validation. We want the fine woman. How I know? Because I'm a man. For other people's validation. Because we're ashamed of what somebody else might think. All of this is confusion on the battlefield. Even for you that don't know we at war and we're in a battle. You gotta wake up. So I hope I made sense. If If I made sense, like I said, share this video. And I leave you in the words I greeted you in. A BB for Hodier, African liberation for African people, for everybody else. Peace.